Imagine for one moment that things had gone very differently for Battlefield 2042, that every time you fire up the game you connect to the EA servers quickly and easily. Arriving at the menu screen, you happily browse all the options available to you, whether it's portal mode, featured playlist of the week, or even a round of Hazard Zone. You explore the server browser, just like you could in Battlefield 5, Battlefield 1, Battlefield 4, and all the Battlefields before that, just to see what game modes and lobbies were popular right now, and maybe find a somewhat busy one with available slots. You check to see if there have been any changes to your platoon, and see if anyone is on. Happily, all your friends are still playing and want to join, and you let them know which server number you're in. Once you get into the game, you marvel at the stunning visuals and graphics, and get ready to get stuck in. The gunplay feels crisp and purposeful, aim assist is consistent and natural for controllers, and mouse input feels precise and responsive. Weapons feel balanced and engagements feel fair, unencumbered by bad hit reg, inconsistent netcode, and erratic lag compensation. Both land and particularly air vehicles have been well balanced since launch and not led to 95% of lobbies constantly being farmed. Once the game ends, you congratulate the rest of your team on such a good team effort, as they all endeavoured to play the objective. You've met some new players who seem halfway decent in your squad, and you chat away on the game chat, enabled by default, as the entire lobby loads in together in the next map in the rotation. Now imagine if all of these things were true, and the game was generally in a much better state than it is. During my time playing and creating content for Battlefield 2042, I've always tried to maintain a balanced and moderate view when it comes to the game's strengths and weaknesses. Neither outright advocating for it when it doesn't deserve it, and equally not trashing it whilst the devs are working so hard to try and right the ship. I am mindful though that positivity for its own sake can be every bit as toxic as negativity. Everybody makes mistakes, none of us are perfect. However, between EA DICE and the Battlefield community, only one of these two parties is expecting the other to collectively spend several $1 million and invest several thousand game hours playing and implicitly endorsing a game which is fundamentally yet to be completed. The player experience is wildly different around the globe. The nagging feeling at the back of my mind is that we are being conditioned to settle for less, far less than we were promised and far less than we can reasonably expect. In all fairness to past and current devs, the Frostbite game engine by all accounts is a nightmare. Difficult to work with and difficult to work around. Throw in lobbies double the size, the largest Battlefield maps ever, first time enabling crossplay, another round of cross-generational development, essentially 3 different core game modes, all of it unfinished, all of it nowhere close to optimized, even now as we approach the 1-year anniversary of a very obviously premature launch. Not to mention all of this was done during a global pandemic. AAA games are insanely complex projects at the best of times, and 2042 stacks complexity upon complexity, but none of this sadly excuses poor decisions at the management level. Even with the recent announcement that the reassuring presence of Marcus Later and his newly formed Ridgeline Games will be focusing on narrative campaigns for future Battlefields, and General Manager Byron Bede's assertion that they are all in on Battlefield, reading between the lines, it seems that 2042 has been relegated to nothing more than a bench test for future releases. Future releases in the franchise then will need to be nothing less than excellent in every single way, and after the calamitous launches of both Battlefield 5 and 2042, I'm not sure how this will play with the existing Battlefield community. Once bitten, twice shy. I want to play this game. I'm a Battlefielder at heart, and I want to see this game and franchise turn a corner and become the best version of itself that it possibly can. I've been waiting for a modern day Battlefield since Battlefield 4, and rightly or wrongly this is the closest thing to that experience anywhere on the market right now. Despite all of its flaws and the work left to do, I have enjoyed and do enjoy many aspects of this game, and still envisage a lot of potential yet to be unlocked. I want to play this game.
But one thing that we wanted to help manage your expectations on is the request we've tracked since launch to bring a server browser to All Out Warfare. Presently, we have no plans to either introduce a second server browser or modify the existing Portal server browser experience to include All Out Warfare.
This announcement was a true turning point for me, and sadly not in a good way. The lack of a server browser is a fundamental hindrance to one crucial aspect which seems bizarrely overlooked at the moment. In any multiplayer game, one of the first priorities has surely got to be enabling people to play together with other people as easily as possible, ideally with new or existing friends and as many as possible. This sense of a social collective experience is crucial to any multiplayer game, especially one as supposedly team and objective focused as Battlefield. Bots will not cover that void. Time and again, it feels like the player experience is being sacrificed in favour of commercialization. All the more galling is the lack of any explanation why we can't have a server browser. That seemingly benign but very useful tool that has been the point of entry to thousands of hours played in Battlefield games, that even exists in notorious fashion in the Portal game mode. That server browser will not be enabled for the core 2042 experience. No explanation, no alternative solution, no reason, no consideration. If you are one of any number of players currently living outside North America or Europe right now, like me, you are probably having a very hard time just being able to load in. Very rarely have I been put in a position where I struggle so hard to simply get into a game anymore, let alone play it, especially when it's a AAA title less than a year old. The gaming landscape is constantly shifting and I will go wherever the river flows, but I'd always hoped that 2042 and Battlefield would be a new cornerstone. It might still be, and I will try to continue playing as long as it allows me to, but the signs are not good right now. I've said this before and I'll say it again. The loudest voices in the room are not the only ones that count. As much as I love the franchise and as much as I've enjoyed 2042, for now at least, it's leaving myself and many others behind, whether we like it or not, whether we choose it or not.